Well, hello there, strangers. Welcome to day 17 of the 2023 Advent Calendar series here on MKE Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we've got Tyler from Nosy Neighbor Brewing out of Kenosha joining us to roll his way through the Three Cellars Advent Calendar with Ross and I, and Mr. Lau with the VolumeOne Advent Calendar. So we're going to kick things off with Three Cellars tonight. I got to grab my other paper bag. Supposedly it's a bottle in here. We're going to see what we got. The Cranfather.
Oh, boy.
From Founders Brewing Company. So this is an ale aged in bourbon barrels with cranberry, cherry, and orange peel. Okay.
I like two of those things.
I'm not a huge cranberry fan myself. So this will be interesting. This comes in at 11.1% and is part of their barrel age series, which is a series.
We've done a lot of them.
They do. Yeah, and it's a series of beer that they do every year. Interesting that Founders is not shying away from these bottles. They're one of the few breweries that are still putting out 12-ounce bottles at craft breweries that are still doing it. So, yeah, all right. So a little festive holiday type beer, probably more Thanksgiving-ish than Christmas, but probably both.
It was bottled on 9/18, so it would have been.
I would view this as Thanksgiving, but some may. Yeah, to each their own. I'm guessing it's going to come out a little red, so let's find out.
Ooh.
Yes, it does.
It is a lot darker than I was expecting to come out for some reason.
I'm excited about this one as well. You guys have been pulling some really fun beers.
Yes.
Uh-oh. I'll do.
Everybody just watch Ross. It's so much fun.
I'm so glad we don't do pouring videos anymore. God, I hate those.
I think we're going to start again now after watching this for a couple days. Always entertaining for me. Head dissipated pretty quickly, but a lot of carbonation coming out of the bottle. Head did not dissipate quickly for Ross because of reasons. But very dark. You can kind of see through it, so there's a bit of transparency, but it's pretty cloudy. Can't see a ton through it. If I hold it up to the light, you can.
Yeah, it's pretty hazy.
Yes. Yeah, it looks cranberry-ish.
I know you guys don't have any head here, but you can see a bit of like a red tinge in the head that is there. Which makes, cranberry definitely gets through the whole thing, which is pretty cool to see. And there's cherry, so a lot of red fruit, but it's kind of cool how the head kind of takes on the same, all the flavor profile it's supposed to have.
I can see it. I have like some foam ring around my glass, so when I tilt it, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take her to the nose. Whoa, cherry!
Wow.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Cherry, the orange is there.
Mm-hmm.
You get the barrel too. There is that you can definitely get that bourbon coming out.
A little bourbon, some spirit.
Oh, this
actually
smells
really freaking good. It smells like a cocktail, exactly. It smells like almost like old fashioned-y, like cherry old fashioned, like.
Wow.
To me, it has like almost like a soda smell, like a craft soda, like a cherry cola,
Or like a good craft soda, like a Code Red or something.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a little bit of that.
Red. That's probably what they're going for.
You know what? Actually, it's like Jolly Good. They make that like cherry soda. It's actually like cherry soda. It's not even cola. It's kind of got that same smell. It's like somebody dumped maraschino cherries into this drink. Is what it's kind of like.
I don't know if I like that.
I get it, but to me, it's still closer to that like old fashioned cocktail because the orange peel is coming through a bit. You get some of the bourbon and that spice coming through from that.
Yeah, for sure.
Shockingly, the only thing I'm not getting is the cranberry.
It's kind of buried in there. I think it's there, but it's buried.
Mhm.
Well, I wish the last batch of Milwaukee Brewing Company's cherry bounce smelled like this.
Just leave them alone. They're coming back out with it. All right.
I can't leave them alone until they return to glory. All right. Let's try this out. Cheers.
Cheers.
There's the cranberry.
Oh shit.
It's
Yeah, that's cranberry. That's cranberry.
definitely
Holy
sour.
How? Where did that come from?
That's really good though. Second sip is better than the first. The first was a little shocking. I had no idea what to expect, but I like the way the cherry and the cranberry are kind of complementing each other in the beer. It's kind of a nice combination of sweet and sour.
That is tart.
It is.
I mean, for being a bourbon barrel aged ale, let's get some tartness to it.
It doesn't have it. You can taste the spirit, like you can taste the bourbon, but it's pretty well blended in with the rest of the flavors we're talking about. Like I get like spirit and cranberry like first, and then the cherry kicks in pretty quickly after the front end. And like mid palate is kind of that nice mix of cranberry, cherry, and like the orange kind of kicks up a little bit more mid palate too, and kind of calms things down a little bit. Out the back though, for me is just what lingers is cherry and bourbon.
Yeah.
Like that's what lingers for me back.
It's interesting. For me, I feel like I get a sweet cherry up front, and then from the mid palate back, it like dries out a little bit. I mean, there's still sweetness; it's not dry by any means, but like I get that orange. So that orange peel, like the pithy, like the white part of the orange peel, it kind of has that acidity to it too, and the cranberry, and then the mixture of like that barrel, all like make kind of like this tannic, kind of dry, bitter bite to the finish, and it kind of just sits there and nothing changes from there on. It's kind of just sitting on my tongue with that kind of tannic bite at the end.
Very spirit like you're drinking a mixed drink.
Yeah, they did that highball drifter that I really liked earlier, so I'm not surprised that they did this well. Like they do a good job making these barrel aged like cocktail inspired beers. So I mean, that first sip was shocking, to say the least. That was tart. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this at all. But you get the second, third sip, you understand what you're about to drink. It's really tasty. I mean, it's as close as, in my opinion, it's pretty as close as you can get to a cocktail kind of beer. I think it does a good job. I think I get what you guys are saying. I think it's well balanced, personally. I like the different kind of flavors coming out. To your point, Josh, you're getting the cranberry up front. Tyler, you kind of get more of that sweetness up front. I think it's kind of chaotic. I think it kind of, each sip to me is a little bit different. I think it's misbalanced in a good way, I guess, if that makes sense. I really like it. I think it's much better than I was expecting. It's funny because last year we had a cranberry beer. I'm like, I'm not going to like this at all, and I really enjoyed it. So maybe I do like cranberry and beer. I don't know, but I think this is really well done. I'm enjoying it.
Just taking another sip while you were talking, my experience was a lot closer to what Tyler described, actually, with the sweet and then the cranberry kicking in after. So it is weird how I'm picking it up things a little differently as I take different sips of this. This is good. I like this. I will start with the ratings here. 5-point scale. I'm going 4.25 on this, just because this is an experience beer. It's got some really good flavor to it. And I'm actually really, really enjoying this. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this, and I'm really enjoying this. This is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a real solid 4.25 as well. I'm right there with you. I didn't expect to like it just because of the cranberry, but it's really good. I mean, I think they hit kind of that cocktail inspired beer really, really well. It's fun. It's different. It is festive. I mean, not to go back to it, but everything I didn't really like about the lakefront beer, which they had the barrels and everything, but they didn't really hit those flavor profiles I was hoping for. This one does. You not only get the barrels, but you get every single thing they say in kind of a different way each time you take a sip. I think it's really well done. So 4.25.
I'm going to go slightly below you guys. I'm going to go with a strong 4. I really like it as well. I think it's really well executed. The thing for me that maybe drops it from a 4.25 to a 4 is that tannic bite at the end a little bit. I think it's just a bit too strong. If you could tone it back just a little bit more, I think I could bump this up a lot higher. But with that being said, I think it's not a fault for them. I think if you're talking about the purpose of this beer, it is to have at a festivity such as Thanksgiving or Christmas. What are you usually doing at those? You're eating very heavy, rich foods. This is cutting through all that richness. And so if you pair this with something that's really rich, that is cutting through that brightness. And I think it does exactly what you'd want it to do. So me drinking it right now without having anything to eat with it is probably a factor. I think if you paired this with like a really nice dinner, like you'd be loving it. So
That's actually a really good point. Really
I
good
like that.
point.
I like it.
Fun. Super fun. The roller coaster of the Three Cellars Advent calendar continues. Very, very good. All right, Mr. Lau, Volume 1. What you got, buddy?
Let's see what we got. Stubborn Brothers Brewery, a Dairyland Amber Ale.
Where's Stubborn Brothers located?
Shawano, Wisconsin. There's
Interesting.
really nothing else on here about this. I don't know what Dairyland Amber. I don't know what Dairyland means, but I'm guessing it'll be an amber ale, like just a
Amber ale
regular
just
old
packed
amber
with
ale.
milk and cheese.
I was gonna say, is it a milked? Is it like an amber ale with milk
Are you
sugar? Like what's
frozen?
happening?
No, I would think it's probably just what they called it because they're
Yeah.
from Wisconsin.
just branding.
I mean,
see the
the can
can.
art is
Oh,
It
that's
looks
a fun
like a-
can.
It is.
yeah. They got a cool little logo going on there.
Yeah. I know that canning isn't super expensive to do, but I'm surprised some of these breweries that I've never heard of are canning beer and like distributing it. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I've never heard of these. Never heard of this place. So, all right, Stubborn Brothers. Let's see how your amber ale is. Oh yeah, that's an amber ale.
oh yeah.
Big menu. Holy.
Oh yeah, there, hey.
Now look at their menu. They got a couple sours. They got a peanut butter whiskey porter, a Vader bourbon barrel stout, Czech dark lager.
Looks like a strong amber.
Does look like an amber ale. I mean, it's about exactly what I expected it to pour like. Little translucent. You can see kind of
Nice
through
and-
it. See my
Nice
fingers.
and clear, yeah.
Not much going on the nose. I mean, but it's an amber ale. I guess I'm not sure what I would anticipate there. A little maltiness coming through, but yeah, head's kind of going away there. I tried to do my best Ross impression on the pour. All right, gentlemen, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
See how this amber ale tastes. I mean, it's exactly what it says it is. It's an amber ale. There's nothing else going on here other than just a, straight up amber ale beer. I don't even know how to describe that other than to say it's, an amber ale. If you haven't had one, I'm not going to be much help in this in
A
this
little
beer
malty,
review
a
currently.
little sweet,
Yeah,
maybe a little
malty.
caramelish character to it.
That's the piece, the little caramel character going on. I think that's what distinctly is what I get when I think of amber beers, is that little caramel kind of vibe. There's
Would
a
you
little.
say- Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say there's a little tinge of like aluminum or tin or something like metallic-y on the back end, and I got that more on my first sip. Maybe it's dissipated a little bit, but it kind of came through on the very very back end on that first sip, especially. I was like, oh, that's an amber ale, and then kind of that popped in a little bit. So what were you gonna say, Tyler?
Oh, I was just going to ask, some like American ambers sometimes are a little bit more hop forward. Is that one just malt?
Yeah, this one's just all malt. I mean, it reminds me of like, well, I can't think of any other ambers I've had except for like the, Point Amber. Was the first one that came to mind. I was like, I took a sip of this and I was like, oh yeah, that tastes exactly like kind of the Point Amber beer. So, I mean, it's good. It's a well done amber. It does exactly what it says it's going to. It's not particularly like my favorite kind of style of beer. It's not my go-to. It's not something I would probably like. If I looked at their menu, would you say they had, Ross, like a peanut butter stout and a bunch of
Amber
like a
whiskey
couple other
stout,
sours
Earl
and
Ale,
like
Earl Ale,
some
yeah.
different fun stuff, right? Like it'd be pretty far down on the list of things I would order. And that sort of metallic flavor kind of went away in these last couple of sips, but I don't know where that came from out of that first one. It kind of hit me on the back end for whatever reason.
So, giving it credit for what it is, not trying to be anything other than
Yeah,
basic
not trying to
amber
be.
ale. Where would
I
you
mean,
put it?
I'll give it a solid, I don't know, 3.5. Like it's an amber ale. It does exactly what you get, exactly what you think you're going to get out of this thing. There's nothing else like that it should be doing, because that's what it is. It's not meant to have adjuncts or anything crazy going on. I wouldn't mind it if it had a little bit of those hop characteristics in there, like a little of that bitterness, but that's more because I'm kind of I'd rather have an IPA than an amber ale. So
In football, offensive lineman, your goal is not to get your number called, right? And if you get your
Right.
number called, it's because you did something wrong. That's kind of like an amber ale. If you're tasting big things, that means that something went wrong. So the fact that you're like, this is clean and nondescript, that means that they nailed it, right?
No idea where you're going with that.
I know you're
I
feeling
like it. I like it.
I had
It's
a
funny.
point.
I put
Yeah,
point.
no, that's a good
I did
point.
like
Yeah,
it.
like
he said all of that, and I put an old Louis Resurrection in the fridge today, which definitely has some big things going on in it for an amber, but that's intentional.
yeah, they meant to do that. Yeah, like this is clean and this is good. And that now that yeah, the metallic taste has kind of gone away as I've been sitting here drinking it while we've been talking, which that was what threw me off a little bit with that first sip.
Cool.
So
Well, fun.
Stubborn Brothers.
Stubborn Brothers. Day 17 in the books. We got Founders, another out-of-state brewery. Stubborn Brothers, one we hadn't even heard of before, out of Shawano. Very, very cool to get their brew here on the channel through the VolumeOne Advent calendar. So we're going to keep cruising along. We got 7 more of these to go before Christmas, folks. So we are getting closer and closer to the end of these Advent calendars. So stick around. A lot more where these came from. So we'll see all of you on Monday after this Packers win.
Thanks, everyone.
Crickets.
Thanks,
Bye.
Josh.